Hello, hello, everybody. Laurie here from Unique in the Creek. Say hello when you come in. Today we're going to do the Laurel Petal with some burlap, real burlap, on the character board. Yay! Okay. Make sure I'm streaming. Streaming. All right. Hello, hello, everybody. Hello. So we got a great response to that petal I did yesterday. I think I'm going to call it the Laurel Petal because it looks like one of the leaves from a laurel wreath. So we'll leave it at that. But there's ways we can use other materials other than just mesh. And I wanted to show you guys doing it with a 6-inch burlap. Now, we used to have a whole bunch of 6-inch burlap, so if you grabbed some of the colors, yay for you. I don't know if I'm going to be bringing any more in, but you can get burlap at Hobby Lobby in all different colors. Right now they have the dark brown. I think they have dark brown. They have orange and black, cream. I got a yellow here. This burlap is usually over by like where not the seasonal ribbons, so not where Christmas and seasonal ribbons are, where the everyday ribbons are. That is where you'll find the rolls of burlap. Okay, they're 6-inch by 10 yards, so that's the same as the one I'm using. And yeah, so burlap's fairly inexpensive, very durable, and very high hiding. Okay, so it makes it for this petal to be perfect. So it's quite easy to do this petal. Okay, so we have this 6-inch burlap. You could probably get away with 5.5-inch. I know the Dollarama here in Canada, they sell burlap. I believe it's 5.5 inches. It should work as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll out our burlap and we're going to cut it at the 10-inch mark. Okay, so we're going to cut a piece 6 by 10, almost like we did yesterday with the actual mesh. So I'm just lining and squaring up my burlap, so making sure the bottom is running along and then the side. And then I'm going to cut it at the 10-inch. Okay? I'll do another one. Now, the one I'm going to show you on the character board that I'm doing absolutely can be done with deco mesh like I did yesterday. I just didn't want to do the same one today, showing you guys the character board, doing it when I had some burlap here. So you guys may have some burlap in your stash. Okay, so we got our burlap. I'm going to use our little 4-inch zip ties again, just to hold it as a stopper. Okay. Now we're not using mesh, so you can see the edges at the top and bottom are already factory, so we don't have to fold it in like we did the deco mesh yesterday or the poly burlap yesterday. Okay, so we don't have to do that 1/2-inch fold, but we do want to find the center of this piece. So you could either, if you have a cutting mat, just put your finger on the 5-inch, or just fold it in half and make a crease and open it up, and you should see your crease. Take my little zip tie out. All right, and then what we're going to do is this is going to go right down the center. This side is going to go right down the center. Okay, so we're making that triangle again. Then I'm going to flip it over. Make sure my tip is nice. Line up these edges. Okay, grab the bottom crease there. Now, you may want to make a nice crease because you'll see with the petals, you can kind of see the crease really well in the burlap. All right, so then I'm going to keep this holding on to the center. Okay, so we flipped it over, hold on to the center, open it up. Okay, and we're going to grab about 1 inch to the center and give it a good crease so you can see it in the burlap. And then we're going to take the edge here and bring it to the center. So I'm kind of folding the edge here while I'm sliding it to the center. We'll do this a few times. Then for burlap, I like to just flip it around because then I can grab, I'm right-handed, I get a better crease by flipping it around. I don't know why. And then bring it into the center again. Okay, and you can manipulate it, give it a little tug at the top. We're going to put a little zip tie around the bottom, keep it hold it in place. Okay, and there we go. So it's about 5 inches again, where the zip tie. So there is our petal, and there is the inside. So you can use either side if you want. That's the inner part. That's the outer part. Okay? And then I'm going to just trim off that little bit of burlap. So we'll do it again. Hello everybody, welcome, welcome. Thank you for watching. This is just going to be a quick one. Okay, 6-inch burlap, cut at 10. I'm just going to find my middle. Okay, open it up. There's my middle, or like I said, you can just put your finger on the 5-inch there. Take the corner here, bring it straight down the middle. Take the top, bring it straight down the middle. Okay, we're going to flip it over. The edges should line up perfectly, which they do. Okay, then I'm going to grab this bottom corner, open it up, pinch, 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 pinch. And wrap a little zip tie. Now you can use the rubber bands too. Like I said, I like to use the little zip ties these days because it's just another security so that the petals don't come out. That's all. And we'll trim this up. Okay, so that is how you do the petal with the burlap. Let's try it with the Hobby Lobby burlap. Because the red burlap I'm using is a little bit stiff. This is a stiffer weave. This stuff from Hobby Lobby, I believe, is a more looser weave. So I want to see how it looks like. Just cut ends off so okay. Get a straight edge here. Okay, we're going to cut this again at 10 inches long. You can see it's a little more flimsy. This one's got a little bit of, this burlap has a bit of starch in it, so it's a little bit stiffer. All right, we got our burlap piece. And this one I might just because you probably won't see a crease. So I'm just going to put my finger on the 5-inch right there. Okay, bring this top corner down the center, the left corner down the center, fold it over. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's a little flimsier. Let's try that again. There we go. But it's doable. Tie around the bottom. Oh, that's not bad. Like I said, it's a bit flimsier, but there you go. That's the, I believe it's from Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure if it's from Hobby. Usually Hobby Lobby has their name somewhere on. But I do know they have 6-inch burlap in different colors at Hobby Lobby. So it is where the ribbons are. I'm not sure if this one is, to be honest with you. It doesn't even say Hobby Lobby anywhere. So that is the Laurel Petal with burlap. Now I have started a wreath using the character board. So the character board is the solid in the center. The replay will consist of me putting the vinyl on. I wanted to get a head start, so I just pre-recorded putting the vinyl on. But if you watched me for long enough, you know how to put the vinyls on. And there's a quick tutorial on how to put the vinyls on. This particular vinyl is 1518. We have over 1,000 different vinyls that you can use. For the center, it makes your sign and your wreath frame all one piece. Now, I'll show you my pattern that I did. We'll flip it over. What you don't have to do with the burlap, because it is high hiding, what I did is a pattern. I did 3 pieces or 3 petals, 2 petals, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, just to give it a little bit of dimension so that top center petal kind of sticks out a little bit, and it gives that little bit of 3D dimension on it. So you can either, if you want to use just one roll of burlap, you would do only 2, and I'm going to do the 2 right now. You would only do 2 petals for every row. If you want to give it, a little bit more fullness and want to do the 3, you're going to need just a little over 1 roll of burlap, okay? So first one we're going to do is hole 1 to the outside of the board, and we're going to do this up. So this is just for the 2, and then hole 1.5 to hole 2, go down and back up, close it up till you hear a zip, okay? And that's preloaded. The next one has 3, so I'm going to go hole 1 to the outside of the board, hole 1 to 1.5, and hole 1.5 to 2. Okay, and then the next row will just be 2 of them. So you can see 3, 2, 3, 2. So you can see your pattern on the back to make sure you didn't miss any or anything, okay? And then once you have your petals made, you just kind of pop them in. So I'm starting, we'll start on the outside here. As you can see, they're going all the same way. And then once we get them all on, we'll just kind of move the outside ones more to the outside, and we can move these inside ones in a bit. Okay, so we're gonna just put your tail of your petal into your zip tie just past the little stopper one I put on, and do it up. And this one's only getting 2 pieces, so you can see how it, when it layers, I'm not sure. When it layers, if you don't use the 3rd piece, you should be okay. This one, I'm just going to pull in a little past that stopper zip tie because it needs to be just a little bit shorter because it's the inner circumference. Okay, and there's our 2. All right, and then the next one is 3, so I'm going to do the inner. Again, I'm bringing it a little bit shorter. And then we're going to do the outside. And then the center one will be last, so it'll kind of be sticking up. Okay, there's that center one, and then you're going to clip the zip ties off. Okay, and now we're on our last row, which is 2. Just lift that up and slide your petal in. And do it up. And then the outside one. And of course you can do this exact same like I did yesterday on the ring board with mesh if you wanted. I just wanted to show you on the character board how you can do a sign with these petals using a character board. And there we're done. And then I'm going to put, I have this, just this black 1.5 inch ribbon. I'm just going to put a simple bow like right there. So now we're just going to kind of move around our petals. Make sure the center ones are centered. And there we go. That's really pretty. Now, if I had like, I guess I could have put just green, like a green ribbon there. This petal is very large. Let's put a hanger on it. So I'm going to take the back. There's the 2 holes. Let's go down. And again, we have thousands of, my hand just cramped, vinyls that you can choose from. So fall, Christmas, winter, all kinds. And keep it simple. Simple and clean. That's what this wreath is. Simple and clean. All right, so we have a hanger. And I'm just going to make a simple bow with this black ribbon. So I'm going to cut my tail 20 inches. I'm going to cut Another 20 inches. Yeah, the new petal, it's a good, like I said, it's a good filler petal. Especially, or a petal if you don't need to, you know, if you just want it to show like I did yesterday. So very clean looking. All right, so I just took my 20-inch, one of the 20-inch pieces, folded it in half so I could see the center. And I'm gonna go about 2 inches past the center. And again, 2 inches past the center. Take this 20-inch piece. We're gonna dovetail the end. Keeping it very simple. Okay, how big is this bow? It is 8 inches. I'll put a slip a zip tie or a pipe cleaner under there at 4. And of course you can add greenery and stuff within the petals if you want. It's totally up to you. Okay, just very, very simple. And I like to put it over here, so I'm going to go through the petals here if I can. There it is. Poking the pipe cleaner right through the burlap. My hands are cramping up today, I don't know why. Now you could leave it without a bow, but we're just going to add this simple bow. Pull it in the back, tighten pipe cleaner. And there we go. Super cute. Easy to do and inexpensive. Isn't it cute? So there it is. Oh, I gotta fix the back, of course, because I just fluffed my bow. So we want to make sure everything's nice and neat on the back. You're gonna put your sticker, your business card on the back. There we go. Nice and clean. Fluff up our bow again. You can make your bows bigger or smaller. You don't even have to add a bow. I just wanted to keep it simple. Right? And there we go. Red with a vinyl simple bow on the character board using 6-inch burlap. If you do have 6-inch mesh, yes, you can do it with 6-inch mesh too. Just if it's dollar store mesh, don't even try it. It's just going to fall apart. But some places do sell a 6-inch mesh online, like Craft Outlet. I'm not sure if they still have any. But if it's a better quality 6-inch mesh, you can do it exactly like I just did with the burlap. Okay, and that's it. Thanks for joining me today.